Brentford 0, Chelsea 0. I'm here with Johnny Minerals, Minerals FC. What are your thoughts on what you've seen?
A bit deflated, to be honest. Firstly, up the Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Up the fucking Chelsea. I think Potter made changes with an eye on Man United, and I think that sort of cost us a little bit. I think there was a certain game plan set out, didn't work. Gallagher going off early forced him to bring on Cover, who I think he wanted to rest for Man United. I did feel a bit better when Cover came on because he's got the technical ability, he's got the minerals in the middle of the park. But as a whole, the way we played, I felt the balance wasn't there. I also have to say how Brentford set up, because the way Brentford play, the transitions from going defensive to attack were very quick. So every time we got the ball, I keep saying it, we're too slow. And when you're too slow, whether you go out wide or whether you go down the middle, Brentford go into that low block and you're playing against 11 men behind the ball, literally the whole game. And you saw the Brentford players, they're all fucked, they're all cramped. You know, how many times they stopped the game, do you know what I mean? They were fucked, bruv.
Isn't that credit to us, though?
To an extent, yeah. We had a lot of possession, but I didn't feel the final cutting edge. The cutting edge wasn't there in the final third, is what I'm saying. It just wasn't there. And you've got to understand something. When you change the front line like that, Broja's not really played with Kai apart from West Ham when they came on. Mace, again, I think putting him into the midfield, which is his role, but you're playing Gallagher as well. I just felt that the chemistry wasn't quite there throughout the whole team, even with the changes. And even when you brought the changes on, Pulisic had a little bit of an impact in being a bit more central and trying to make something, but there was never that final ball. The players weren't in the positions to receive that ball, to make something happen, to create a chance. And that's where we suffered. Everything else, you know, keeping the ball, moving it about, yeah, it was great. But you've got to do something with it. And unfortunately, we didn't do that today. I thought there was a last-minute winner there. Very close. I think it was Sterling. You had Chuck Winnels who came on and put in a great little performance. Fair play to the kid. Broja did very well. There was a moment in the first half he, might have gone his way. But I saw shades of over-trying from Broja, like we did with Gallagher when he first started coming onto the scene. And this is the problem. He needs game time. If you don't give him a run-up, you're going to get that. And there were some decisions that he just didn't go his way, and for the team. I felt where we really struggled was that you didn't get Mason Mount in the game. You just didn't get him in the right positions. We just didn't connect together as a team. Although we had all the possession, that for me was the problem.
Okay, so you're not saying it's a case of other players, it's just a case of involving Mason Mount. I mean, that's the name you've said. Obviously.
You've seen in the last 3 games, you play through Mace and he lands the minerals. And I didn't see it today. I didn't see it in the first half at all. And that was a problem. And I think Brentford, I was going to say Brighton, I think Brentford had a game plan now to try and isolate Mount. Because I watched Mount, and when he's getting in positions, he's got like 2 players around him a lot of the time. So even when he does get the ball, his only option is really to sort of go backwards or sideways, and that's the problem. I said with Mason Mount, if like Lampard did with Everton, he man-marked Mace, and we struggled and we lost that game. We didn't lose today. We could have lost today, but we didn't. But if you isolate Mount, it's like all our creativity, all our minerals just lack. And that was the problem, a big problem in the first half and started the second half.
So then, isn't that the other players? They need to step up.
Well, yeah, they do need to step up. I mean, I felt Broja, just lack of game time, bit of inexperience, had a few good moments. I thought Kai, for me, everyone was getting on at Kai, but for me, I saw the other side of the game where he tracked back, he defended very, very well, he worked hard for the team. But like I say, when you're not used to playing with a Broja, and it's disjointed, and the midfield was a Gallagher, Jorginho at the start, and then it changes mid-game to Kovacic, it's all mismatched. You've got Loftus-Cheek playing wing-back, which we know he's not a wing-back, but he has to fill in that void of James. Asby ain't got the legs for it. You played Asby, he hasn't really played much. I thought Koulibaly was shaky in the game. I thought Trev recovered him countless times. For me personally, I felt that the link-up wasn't there throughout the team, and especially when you get into the final third. Sometimes in these games, you need a player to just shoot from outside the box, just to have a crack. Cover tried it, but we know Cover ain't got that shot on him. But you need a player that's got that, and we ain't got one. And the only player that can do that is either Mace or Connor, and they're both not playing. So you have to rely on trickery, playing the perfect ball. Sterling, too many touches at times. I just felt the decision making wasn't there throughout the team. And it's about a team performance, and it weren't there, and we didn't get away with it. We got the draw.
I completely agree with you. It is a team performance, and you don't want to single out individuals too much. But it's like what Father was saying earlier. You do have to reflect and look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Well, hang on a second. How are some players getting in the team when they're not performing?" I'm going to give you Kai Havertz and Mason Mount as an example. Two players who got a lot of criticism at the beginning of the season. Now, we watched England versus Germany. They were both balling out, and we said, listen, we need to base this team around those two players. And Graham Potter's done that. I can happily say that he's given Kai game time, he's given Mace game time. Mason Mount's levelled up, but Kai, I'm not seeing many changes. I'm not saying it's terrible, but is that going to win you a Premier League?
I said it during the game, I said if we can win this game, I think you put us up there prodding for the title. We didn't get over the line, and it's these sort of games where if you want to win titles, you have to go and win them or dig out your minerals and land it. We didn't do that. We didn't lose though, which is a positive as well in itself, because you got to remember there's a lot of games coming thick and fast. We're getting injuries now. We've got another one to Gallagher, which has killed us. But for me, when you talk about Mason Mount, if you play through Mason Mount, you get the rewards, and Potter's been doing that. There's no question about Mount for me. He's just a minerals general, But when it comes to Kai is not. I don't think Kai's been used properly, and I think you're changing players with Kai. And that's the problem. You don't get no consistency. So how do you expect a player to deliver the goods and be consistent if everything else around him isn't consistent? And you have to look at the changes. A lot of changes again, throughout the team. No Thiago Silva. He's a fucking minerals general in the back. Dictates the play. We lost that with Koulibaly. I didn't feel Koulibaly had that today. And he adds a calmness. I felt we weren't as calm in the final third as we have been, and I feel like the Villa performance has carried on, and these are the deficiencies in our squad. This is Chelsea at the moment. We are in a rebuild. We are Potter's trying to get a mix. He's trying to analyse players at the same time. It's very difficult. But when you talk about Kai Havertz, Kai Havertz has delivered at our football club. He's landed minerals on winning us trophies, big trophies we ain't won, like the Club World Cup. We know that, all right. But everyone screams about consistency. But you can't get consistency if the player's not getting consistent run, and he's not having those certain specific players around him and being played in the right role. For me, Kai's a 10 as opposed to a 9. So when he plays in the false 9, everyone expects him to be that striker. He's not.
But he's never going to play as a 10, is he? Not when Mount and Gallagher are in the team.
This is the thing, right? When we played against Wolves, the gaffer played Gallagher and Mount, and it worked, and we won 3-0. Why can't he do that with Kai and Mount? Because I think Kai in a slightly deeper role where he can give his defensive work rate rather than giving it from the front line all the way back. He'll be more slightly central, in that 10 role, and he can link up the play and dictate the play with Mace because they've got great chemistry. I want to see Potter try that because I haven't seen it. All I've seen him is on the right or left, which I don't think works for him. And I've seen him as a false 9 where we feel like doesn't put his foot through it to score the goals, But he had a good chance today. There was moments where he was linking up well. I'm not coming at Kai. I'm backing Kai all the way through because at the end of the day he deserves to be backed,
But can you admit that it's not been good enough, or are you still standing by the fact that he needs more time?
I still think he needs a bit more time for me. I don't feel like he's had a fair run since he's come to Chelsea. He's had Lampard, Tuchel, change of manager. He's now had Tuchel, Potter, change of manager. change of league, it's very difficult to adjust from the Bundesliga to the Premier League. Look at Timo Werner and other German players. It's tough. It's not easy. And also, I think the change of the team all the time and the rotation, it kills you. Pulisic hasn't played and came on and played very well. Yeah, he did well. But for me, Kai, like I say, he's like fine wine. You need to let it mature and then you'll enjoy drinking it all day long. And right now I've had a little taster. Everyone's had a taste of what he can bring in the big games, in the clutch moments, but he hasn't brought it consistently. And that will only come. But at the end of the day, our team ain't consistent either. We're not.
But isn't that down to the players?
Yeah, but it's not just Kai. It's everyone. You can't just pinpoint Kai and blame him.
Of course, but it's about people doing their job. So that's just one example of many. That's one example of a player who needs to be doing more.
I just feel like the transitions are too slow. You saw Brentford's transitions, how they moved as a team. We need to be quick like that. Yeah. Because if you're quicker like that, it means you can hurt teams because you can hit them with your pace, your trickery, and you have them on the back foot. We didn't have that with Brentford. Brentford were low block majority of the game, and that was the problem. And like I say, they all had cramp, do you know what I mean? But you have to give a shout out to Kepa again for delivering the minerals and being consistent and keeping us in the game. And those were the moments I thought maybe we go and win this game and we can actually give a push, do you know what I mean? Get a sixth win. But the most important thing is not to lose. Kepa landed it. Well played to the kid, never talked that bad about the club. He's sat there, he's waited for his opportunity, now he's taking it. Fair play to him. But my special shout out tonight would be Trev, because I think Trev, if you watched him throughout that game, he dug out Koulibaly so many times. His recovery was there, his decision making was there, he was very calm at the back, and like another game where we ain't lost under Trev. Trev is playing very, very well and deserves to play, but you could give man of match to Kepa, but I swayed to Trev because I think Trev was that difference in front of Kepa to limit that, because they had other moments where they had a lot of good positions where they could have hurt us, and Trev prevented that, helping Koulibaly. Cucurella, another one. Why didn't Chile play? For me, in the first half, and the start of the second half, if Chile was in positions where Mason Mount was, I felt Chile would link up better. I think Cucurella's adjusting. It's all about adjusting. These players got to adjust. We got new signings coming in that need to adjust. Sterling, he had a moment, shoot geezer, just shoot, make something happen, and he didn't. Overall, I thought there was a slight chance we could do it, but it weren't there. And I feel a little bit deflated, but at the same time, I think the gaffer needs to be wary of making too many changes in certain areas. Now Georgie's played a full 90. Now you've had Cover pretty much play a full 90. What's going to happen against Man United? I think the thought process is Kai's not going to play against United, and he played more minutes tonight. And also you have to credit Potter for giving Kai the opportunity to try and deliver. But he did defensively. He works for the team, the kid. This is the thing. You've got to appreciate, all right, he's not scoring goals and he's not getting an assist, right? We all go on about the GA. They did that for Mason Mount at the start of the season. But look at him. Yeah, it comes, all right? But Kai, for me, he just needs to, I think he lacks a little bit of confidence. Just a little bit. You know what I mean? But it's hard for him because he's chopping and changing. False nine, right forward, right wing, left wing, which is not his position. Then you need him to do the defensive work as well, and then you're out of position. I just felt like the whole balance was wrong today, and that's where we got caught out. I'm very fortunate that Kepa kept clean sheet. Big up to him for keeping a clean sheet, because that was quality.